Hello everybody, this is Sean with Special Adventures, and I'd like to welcome you to a actual reproduction of one of my original videos. So the reason behind that is that when I had my original microphone, it didn't exactly sound that well. There was a lot of buzzing, so I thought that I'd go ahead and redo the first episode for those of you who are around to remember it, and for those of you who are coming here for the first time. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get this started. So basically the point of this video is me talking about my love for Halo. I played the game back in 2002. That's when I got my first Xbox, actually. I had the original Xbox and I got Halo 1 as a part of my birthday present, and I can tell you that I was completely in love with this game. I could not stop playing it, and I was just completely consumed by playing this game. I would play this from the time that I got home till the time that I went to sleep, go to school, come back, do the same thing over again. And I must have been like 10, maybe like 12 or 13 when the game came, we're out about the time the game came out. And originally I played it at a friend's house and we were doing cooperative, and I was thrown into the game on Legendary, and I also had to learn how to play Inverted. My friend thought it was hilarious. To this day, I still curse his name for it. But yes, so let's go ahead and get started with the game. So it came out in 2001, one of the launch titles for the original Xbox, first-person shooter. A couple cool things about the game is it's what really made the home console first-person shooter. A lot of the controls that they have in Halo were moved over to like the Call of Duty series, and it's kind of like the foundation for all shooters on home consoles. It's just amazing. And the thing that was great about it is it has a fantastic story. It has, a great protagonist, and as the story goes on, be it that you read the comics or you read the books, or even if you watch the films to a minor extent, Forward Unto Dawn doesn't show the Chief until, later in the series, and I'm not going to say when. He does not make an appearance into the Nightfall series that they did when the Master Chief Collection released. But be that as it may, he's a very deep character if you actually look into it. A lot of people see him as a giant cyborg, a cyborg in green powered armor. But he's a lot more than that. He is John, and I believe, and you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, he's from the planet Aridness 7, I believe. It's been a while since I've read the books, but as a child, at the age of 7, he was scouted by Dr. Catherine Halsey and by Captain Keyes. They were going out and looking at prospective children that they were going to initiate into the Spartan 2 program that Dr. Halsey was the leader and the person who was in charge of it. The whole purpose of the Spartan program was to establish the Spartans as a first-line defense against separatists and the, fighting against the UNSC, so basically terrorists. If you read the novels, you actually see that John's first combat mission is to go and acquire the leader of one of these separatists that have a small base on an asteroid, and it's also where he has his first combat mission and where he gets wounded for the first time in combat. Continuing on through the books, Master Chief and his Spartans continue to train up. They go through different iterations of the Mjolnir, which is the powered armor that he wears, and he acquires the current armor that he has in Halo 1, or Halo Combat Evolved, which is the Mark V. The Mark V is the first set of powered Mjolnir armor to actually have powered shields, which is actually based upon the Jackal's energy shield. Kind of weird that they didn't base it off the Elite, but it still does the job and it works very well. After the fall of Reach, the Master Chief picks up here in Halo Combat Evolved, where he is basically at the beginning of the game, just escaping Reach, gets woken back up, and starts fighting the Covenant again. They fight through Halo 1, and you learn more about the Covenant, and their religious society that they have based upon the rings and Forerunner technology. You learn about the Forerunner, and in the first 3 Halo games, you see nothing but their machines and their ring worlds and their shield worlds, and they're very mysterious. And then in Halo 4, you interact with a forerunner for the first time. Goes by the name of the Didact. He is the husband to the Librarian. The Librarian, as you learn through the Halo the mythos and all that, she is actually the reason why humanity still exists, because she was very adamant in saving humanity. Excuse me. And if you look back into the books, you'll actually learn a lot more about the Prometheans, which is the army of the Didact. You learn more about the Forerunner and humanity. And I'll go into that at a later time, because I don't want to, you know, run my mouth forever talking about them. But beyond that, with Halo, one of my favorite games. It's what really got my appetite wet for first-person shooters, and I mean, they're fantastic. The Halo games have always, in my mind, been great because, you know, I've played Call of Duty, I've played Crysis, I've played Medal of Honor, I've played Battlefield, and, you know, each one of those has their own things that I like. You know, with Call of Duty, you have very fast-paced action, which some people just can't get enough of. Battlefield, with large-scale interactions with armor and jets and armored personnel carriers and infantry and a lot of different things. When you get into Crysis, you have the powered exoskeleton, and, you know, you feel like a super soldier, like a badass. And, I mean, with all of the other ones, they all have their own flavor, but with Halo, it's what really brought all of that, in my opinion, to a head. And what I mean by that is, without Halo, I mean, the Xbox wouldn't have really succeeded. First-person shooters wouldn't have had the insane popularity that they have these days, like everybody, you know, clawing each other's faces off for the latest, you know, the latest Call of Duty every year. And, I mean, the reason for that is Halo's story was great, and I loved it, but the thing that kept it going, and still keeps it going, is the multiplayer. The multiplayer is fantastic. I mean, Bungie, in one of the documentaries, when they talked about making the Halo franchise, when they got picked up by Microsoft, they developed the game, and the multiplayer was kind of a last thought. They didn't really have enough time to get the multiplayer set up for Xbox Live, which, you know, at the time wasn't there at launch. It got established, and Halo 1 had no Xbox Live connectivity. You didn't see connectivity on Xbox Live until the release of Halo 2 in the fall of 2004, which was one of the games that I lived on, and if you guys stick around, I'll definitely do a little bit on that too. But I remember how many times I'd have friends over and we'd just do split screen on Halo 1, and we'd play Capture the Flag and Slayer and Team Deathmatch, and we came up with all of our own game types. And, I mean, you saw a lot of cool game types come about, like in Halo 2, that's where the Zombies game mode and the SWAT game mode developed, and they were just custom games that people made that Bungie noticed that people were frantically playing, so they actually incorporated it into their own game things. You see Zombies, or you see the Flood in like Halo 3 and Halo 4, and you see SWAT return in Halo 4, and I believe they're bringing it back for Halo 5. Don't quote me on that, but it's like all these game types are great, and the multiplayer has such a following, and it's fantastic, and it's evolved over the years. I mean, it started out as being something you played with your friends at your house on the original Xbox Halo 1, and Halo 2 comes around, and you've got matchmaking, and you've got a fleshed out multiplayer system, and you've got dual wielding, and they incorporate all these new weapons and everything like that. Halo 3 comes around, and then they get the Forge into the game, and you can do more. The dual wielding's still there, the great multiplayer is still there, and then you come around to Halo 4, and personally for me, I love Halo 4. It still felt like Halo, to an extent. The one thing I will say that I did not appreciate with Halo 4 is you notice that they incorporated the weapon loadouts, which is something very similar to the Call of Duty series. And the thing that I liked about Halo is that when you played Halo, everybody started out with the assault rifle, which I'm carrying right now, and the Magnum, like the hand cannon. Everyone started out with these, so everyone was on equal standing. But in Halo 4, they decided to give you the opportunity to make weapon loadouts. And as you leveled up, you could have 2 primaries, you could have a primary and a secondary, you could do all that stuff. And for me, it kind of killed it, because when I played Halo, I was under the impression that everyone would start off evenly, and you'd all frantically run to go get the power weapons or the pickup weapons like the battle rifle or the rocket launcher or the sword or shotguns, and it made it frantic, and it was a real great arena shooter on a console. But But with Halo 4, everyone can start out with an assault rifle and a battle rifle, or an assault rifle and a DMR, or an assault rifle and a carbine, which was the pretty standard loadouts that people would pick, and it was still fun, but it took a lot of the multiplayer aspect and tried to open it to a wider audience. And I'm not one to say that games shouldn't try to strive to change and to try new things, but with that one, it didn't work, and I'm glad to see that in the Halo 5 beta that I played when this game came out in the fall, and by this game I mean the Halo Master Chief Collection. When it came out, we had access to the Halo 5 beta, and I got to play that. I enjoyed it. I'm a little rusty when it comes to Halo multiplayer, so I kind of got my ass handed to me quite a few times, but, you know, I am excited for Halo 5, and I can't wait to see it come out. But beyond that, you know, the multiplayer is fantastic, and it has created a huge following, and were it not for Halo, I don't think the first-person shooters would be the way that they are now. Keep in mind, this is all just one man's opinion. But, I mean, beyond that, with the story, it's like I was saying earlier, it's like, with the campaign, I mean, it sets up a huge universe, and through the books and the comics and all the games and the films, you actually get to see that world get fleshed out and evolve and become so great. And I mean, for me, it's like I have the books. I'm missing like 2 or 3. I have a majority of the comics, and currently they're doing a run of them, which is following Sarah Palmer, who is the commander of the Spartan 4s on the UNSC Infinity from Halo 4. And talks about how she becomes a Spartan, how she was originally an ODST and moves to become a Spartan 4, and how the Spartan 4 program picks up, and other events that span between Halo 3 and Halo 4 and beyond. But, I mean, with that, you get the Forerunner, you get the Flood. Everyone hates them, but they're such a cool enemy. You get the Covenant, which is a really interesting race, and they're like a caste system. So, they've got... Oh, I'm going to stop one moment. My little trick that I love to do. Oh, stay there. There you go. Dummy. But, you know, you get the Covenant, and they're very fleshed out, and through the books you can see how their system is set up and how they have the hierarchs at the very top of the command, and they have the elites, and they have honor guard, and they have the brutes, and they have the hunters, and they have the grunts, and you hear about rebellions, and you hear about the Arbiter, and you hear about the heritage of each of these races and what they're capable of, and you learn about the UNSC, and I mean, if you look at the books and the mythos of the Halo games, you learn that their history continues from ours. So basically, if you take present day today, and, you know, leave a little opening, you know, give or take, you know, 100 years or so, and the books pick up humanity learning about slip space and being able to travel further into the star systems and expand, and then you get colonization of other worlds, and then it starts wars in humanity. This is before the Covenant actually come around, and you get, you know, civil war to an extent. You get the separatists that don't want to join the UNSC, and you have the UNSC trying to establish government and control and organization and all of these colonies that have been established, and then come around the Spartan program, like I was saying. And with the Spartan program, before the fall of Reach, which happens before Halo Combat Evolved, you also have the Contact War, which is the first contact between humanity and Covenant, which I believe is on the planet of Harvest. And if you play Halo Wars, that's actually the first, it follows the first contact between the Covenant and humanity. You get interaction of some Spartans, and you get to see the Spirit of Fire, which is the retrofitted civilian ship used to basically originally designed to fight the Separatists, now being used to fight the Covenant. And then that goes missing, and then you get to play Reach, which actually takes place at the events with Spartan 3s and their story at the fall of Reach. Now, the Master Chief is there. You have to read the books to see what he was doing, and he was doing combat ops trying to stop the Covenant from taking the planet, and eventually gets placed onto the Pillar of Autumn, which I'm on right now, and picks up with Halo Combat Evolved. And, you know, throughout the rest of the games, you know, Halo 1, Halo 2 comes around, Earth gets attacked, Halo 3 ODST kind of spans the gap between Halo 2 and 3, where the ODSTs fall into the city looking for an engineer to capture. and you get to be in the city when you see the Covenant ship do the slip space jump in the middle of New Mombasa and the space elevator crashes, which is pretty cool. And then after that, Halo 3 picks up. The Master Chief is back from High Charity in the original Halo ring, and you go to the Ark, and then you destroy the Ark and the ring, and you know, all these really cool things. And the stories are so fleshed out, and you have all these great characters like Sergeant Major Johnson. You have John, Sierra 117. You have Cortana, who is an artificial intelligence that's like a clone of Dr. Catherine Halsey, and also uses slip space technology, which is derived, as you learn from the books and from Halo Reach. Like, it's all based on Forerunner technology. I mean, Forerunner technology gets up being implemented into the UNSC Infinity, into their drives, and it's just like, it's so fleshed out, it's so fantastic. And, you know, one thing that I truly believe, at least for me, is the game's impact on my life as a child. Like, I played this badass super soldier, and I was there to save the day. I felt like a hero, and, you know, you're fighting these bad aliens, they're trying to kill humanity, and they're trying to destroy everything, and completely fanatical and crazy, and all that other stuff. It's great, but, I mean, as time went on, you learn more about the Chief through the games and the books and everything. You learn how much of a human he is. I actually will touch base on it, when I do my playthrough on the second episode, but you get to see him develop more in the fourth game, which is, it's very interesting how they did the development of the Master Chief and Cortana's story. But be that as it may, you know, I think I've ran my mouth long enough, and I hope that all of you who have joined me enjoyed me talking about one of my favorite games, something that I'm passionate about. I love gaming. I started out with Nintendo, I have Sony, I have Microsoft, I used to have a PC, I have handhelds, like, I play all these games, but one thing that I always come back to is Halo. And it's one of my favorite things in the world to play. So, like I was saying, I hope that you enjoyed listening to me ramble about Halo, because it was really just me rambling about anything that I could think of off the top of my head, just running my mouth. But yes, I would really like for those of you who are watching to please join me again, maybe for the next episode when it comes up later in the week or next week or whenever I get around to it. I'm not gonna worry about the details, but my name has been Sean. I am with these Special Adventures. If you liked the video, please like it. If you didn't like it, please dislike it. If you have a comment that could possibly help me create better content, or if there are things that you want me to touch base on with something in one of these videos, please let me know. If you like the video, please give us a subscription, and I might be able to talk better. But thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.